Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear respected colleagues from YIC, please welcome to the Blackboard workshop number 2. This is Kareem here from LA department. Please welcome to the second workshop, workshop number 2 of Blackboard system. So what we are going to cover in this week, what we are going to cover in this session is, since we are in the week number 2 now, it's time to collect the lab reports from our students and also to issue the assignments and to collect the assignments. So these are the activities we are going to see in this coming weeks. So to immediately start with, so let's see how to collect the assignments, how to collect the lab reports, how to mark them, and how to give the results and the grades to the students. So the purpose of this video is just to since we don't have any common time because we are busy with our teaching schedules, so I decided to prepare the video. So I'm just giving here the demonstration of how to create these activities. So you need to practice it, then only you will get it. So inshallah, without delay, I'm going to start with the basics of workshop number 2. So I have another workshop video. I prepare it inshallah soon. This is Blackboard workshop number 2, optional advanced topics. Those who are really interested or curious about the advanced features, they can see this video. Okay, to start with, log in into the Blackboard, use your credentials. I have taken my colleague's username and password with his permission. So log in into the okay. So once you are logged in, you will see the cover page. So we are not interested in this, we are interested only in one tab here, that is courses. Select the course. So here you will be listed with all your theory and lab sections. So now I need to see how I can collect the lab reports. So let me choose one lab section here. So this is electric circuit 1 laboratory LB04. Since the course is new, fresh, we don't have any menu items, so I suggest you to create at least one menu item which is as a entry point for the students. So use this plus symbol, content area, give a name, then make it available to the student. So this is our first content area menu. Click this, go to the build content, and then click item. So again, you can give any name for this, give a description, whatever the message you want to give for the students in the welcome page. If you have anything to attach, you can attach it here. Browse my computer and select the file, it will be attached here, you can see. Then nothing to do here, submit. So this is the welcome item. Next, what we want to do here is to collect the lab reports. How to collect the lab reports from the students? Again, go to the plus, go to the content area, call this as lab report submission or anything you want, and make it available. Submit. So this is your lab report submission menu item. Click this. Now lab reports are considered as assignments, so because we are going to mark them, so that's why we need to use the assessments, not from build content. From assessment you need to choose the item assignment. Click OK. So I want to collect the lab report number 1, the first week lab report. I will say lab 1 report. Here you can write the description for the student. What is the deadline, how it should be, the cover page, or any other information that you would like to give. So I would like to show you some information. This is very important and it will make your life easy later on. So this is a lab report submission, some rules. By default, all the lab reports must be submitted a week after the completion of the experiment, and use the standard naming convention for the file, like ID number, name, course code, section number, and experiment number. And we have a standard cover page for each department. They have to use it. And please accept only the Word and PDF files, not any other kind of format files. Then any late submission will carry the penalties. So all this information you can write it here directly, or you can put it as a attached as a file here. It can be attached as a file. Then if you have the due date for the lab report to be submitted, you can give here, because by default all the reports are all the reports need to be submitted a week after the completion of the lab. The one important thing you shouldn't forget here is this: what is the points that you are going to give for the lab report. That's it. And there are so many things here. Submission details, you don't have to do anything for now. Grading options, you don't have to do anything here. Display of grades, don't do anything here. And please make sure that the assignment is available for the students. That's it. So press the submit button. Now the lab report number 1 is ready for the students to submit. So this is the link the students will click and they will submit their lab reports. Let's see how they will submit. Before that, let me create another lab report. How do we create another lab report for the week number 2? Go to the lab report. We are already in the lab report, or let's say from the beginning. We are in the home. Go to the lab report. Go to the assessments. Go to the assignment. Then give a name for this: lab report number 2. This is for week number 2. You can write any information you want, or the description. If you want, you can attach a file. Then deadline or due date and the points out of which you are going to correct your lab report. Submission details, nothing, simply just submit. So here, like this, you can create every week, or you can create in advance also, no problem. You can keep it ready for the students. When the students log in, they will first go to the welcome page, because we set this as an entry page. We did not set, but we have to set this customization, teaching style. By default it will be there, welcome will be there, or if you want this, no, we want welcome, submit. Yes. Now let's go back to the home again. So we are here. How the students will enter the, how they will submit. Let's see the student preview. So this is the student preview. Students will see the first welcome message if you have something here. Otherwise, if they want to submit the lab reports, they will click the lab report submission. So here the students will click this lab report number 1 for the first week report. Here they can clearly see how many points for this lab, maximum marks for this lab. If the students wants to write something, he can write it here, or he can submit the lab report. Normally we accept the lab reports either in the Word form or PDF forms. So ask them to use only these two forms. So they will browse their computer and they will attach the files, then they will submit. That's it. Once they submit, it will be available for the instructor to mark. Now let me close the student preview. Yes. Now how to mark the lab reports. To mark the lab reports, before you mark the lab reports, there is something called grade center. Let us see what is a grade center. In the grade center, we have here an option item called full grade center. Click this and you will see here all your students' names and IDs and the activities, just like in the Moodle. So since we created two new items, that is called lab report number 1 and lab report number 2, it will be available here. Lab report number 1 and lab report number 2. This is what we created. So all these items, any the username, student ID, they are by default available. So now if you don't want all this to be seen, if you don't want all this, you can hide this. For example, last access, if you want to hide from the faculty view and the instructor view, you can just simply select this down arrow key and then go down, hide from instructor view. Yes, last view, one column is gone. Availability column, let us see how to hide again. Hide instructor view. Next, total weight, I want to hide. Username, you can hide. Average, you can hide. Total, you can hide. So these are the two columns that you created. Whenever you create the activity, any the lab report, so you will see here automatically created. So now the students will submit their reports and you are going to mark it from here. Okay. Now this is the minimum thing that you need to know. This is the student ID and your lab report number 1, lab report number 2. Like this, if you create lab number 3, it will be here and it will be here. So one important thing, after normally we take the average of all the lab reports at the end of the semester. So how to create a new column called average? How to create a new column called average, which will calculate the average of lab 1 report, lab 2 report, lab 3 report, like that. So how to create a column? So go to the create calculated column and select it here, average column. So give a name for this column. For example, any name. This is average, so give a meaningful name, and this is the short name, and this is optional, no need of any description here. And here very important thing here is select the score, because we want the score. For example, average of 15 marks of total 15 weeks. It is not a percent, it is just a score. Then do you want this column to be included in the grade? Yes. Yes, include the average. We don't want to have the average of all the columns. We have so many columns here. We want to select the columns. Which two columns you want to select? I want to select the column number 1 and column number 2. These are the two columns for which I need to find the average. So if you add later on lab 3, lab 4, lab 5, you can keep selecting it. Okay, that's it. Calculate the running average. Yes, submit. When you submit here, you will see the new column average. What is this average? It is the average of lab 1 and lab 2 for now. Later on, if you add lab 3, you have to update, you have to edit this average column. Okay, so once you know about this grade center, assume that now the students have submitted their reports. How they have submitted their reports? Okay, just let me take some let me add some reports to the students, and then I will continue. Okay, now let's see how to correct the lab reports. Choose the course, then go to the lab reports, go to the lab report number 1, and you have already, okay, this is for submission. Okay, no problem. So let's go back to the home. Yeah, if you want to correct it, you need to go to the grade center. Go to the full grade center. Yes, here you will see the lab report submission, who submitted and who didn't submit it. So if you see the blank, that means it is not submitted by the student. If you see this yellow with exclamation mark, this is need to be graded. Now it is submitted by the students. So this is submitted by the students. So one student has submitted 1. You can see the status of all the submissions. Next, how to correct the lab reports and how to assign the marks. So there are two ways you can do it. You can just download all the reports, then you can mark it separately, and then you can upload the marks here directly. Okay, now let's see, for example, this student did not submit the marks. Okay, he did not submit the report. He did not submit the report. Let's see this student, how to mark it. Okay, on the down arrow key, select attempt. When you select attempt, you will see here the student ID and his name, everything will be here, and this is his lab report. This is his lab report number 1. So this lab report is out of 15 marks. So this is only his first attempt. We did not allow him to attempt for more than once. So what you need to do, select the pen, any type of pen you want, you can select it here. Okay, yes, you can start marking here directly. Once you start marking directly, okay, this is correct, this is wrong, whatever you want you can just write here, and your all these changes will be automatically saved. So once you finish marking, then if you want to assign the lab report 1 mark out of 15, okay, out of 15, how many marks I need to give him? For example, I will say, okay, 15 out of 15, 10. If you want to give the feedback, okay, need improvements, need to improve, okay, that's it, submit. So your marks will be automatically saved. If you want to go to the next student, you don't have to see, the next student has automatically in the list. If you want to go to the next student, you can see that you can use this arrow key, the next student, next student. Those who submitted, all will be here. Okay, let's go back to the grade center. We will see how the marks that we see out of 10. Yes, this is the first student I marked, 10 marks, okay, and this is the average. Why it is? Because it is one is not submitted. Okay, let's see the average, how the average will come here. Okay, let me mark this. Okay, let's assume I mark this. For example, I will say here 8. I will say here submit. Then go to the grade center, choose his second assignment, assume you marked his assignment, and the marks he got is, let's say 12. Submit. So now let's see the average of these two. Yes, here is the average, 8. Yes, this is the average of these two. Okay, if you mark the lab reports, you downloaded the lab reports and marking, and then you can enter the, if you want to enter the marks directly, you can enter the marks something like, for example, for this students I want to enter the lab report marks as, let's say, 12, for example 12. Okay, so the average is 10.9 something. So here also you can do the same thing. If you want to enter the lab mark, I mean the lab performance, lab report mark, you can enter it. But all this is, see, this means that the students did not enter the, he did not upload the report, but still you gave the marks for him. So it's better always to give the marks when the students submit their lab reports. Let's correct another one. So enter the marks for this student after correcting. After correcting the student, you can enter the marks out of, let's say, 5. Okay, this is student is 5, and this lab report number 2 for the same student, let me give here 12. Now let's see the average, it is 8.49. So this is how you are going to, so this column gets, I mean, calculated automatically. You don't have to do anything. only the lab report marks you need to enter, the average calculated automatically. So this is about the grade center. So at the end of the semester you will take the average of all this and then you will put it as a lab report, yani the lab performance, what we call it as lab performance. Okay, now let's see how the students will see these marks. How the students will see these marks. To see to show these marks to the students, you need to create a tool link here, because this grade center, full grade center, is for your view, but the student view, look at the student view, how the students will see the marks. He cannot see the marks, and if you don't give the link for this grade center. So to create the link for the grade center, you need to go to the plus sign here, create a tool link, and you call it as anything like grades for LB, only the lab performance, LB, and please select my grades, then make it available to the students. So when the students enter, this is the student preview, so the student can see the grade. Yes, the student can see their grades. But we have to see the the student should log in, then only you can see his grades. So let's exit the student preview. Okay, the next step is how to create an assignment, upload the assignment, and how to mark, and how to submit, how the students will submit, and how we will mark their assignments. Okay, so this is about the lab. Now let's go back to the courses. Let's take one theory class here, 202 theory 1, digital electronics. So we don't have any menu items here. You can create welcome page, from the content area, build item, welcome, if you need to attach a file, otherwise submit. So this is your entry page for the students. Now I need to upload my assignment. How to upload the assignment in the theory class? Again, go to the plus, say here content area, now you say assignment, or you can say anything, homework or assignment, and make it available. Assignment submission, this link is for the students, make it available, then click this assignment submission. Then now go to the assessments, then select assignment, same way. Okay, now you can create here assignment number 1, assignment 1, Okay, yes, here you can write the description for the assignment, the deadline, the format, filing conventions, and then normally we upload the assignment in our Word file or in the Excel or Word or PDF files. So browse the computer, select the file here, and then say submit. So one important thing here is the due date. Because this is assignment, due date normally we give 1 week or 2 week, whatever it is very important. For example, I will say, okay, I gave this Sunday, so next Sunday I need to collect it before 2 p.m. before, or let's say before 4 p.m. Okay, the points out of 5, assignments out of 5, then you need to, yes, it is individual submission, grading options, you don't have to do anything, display the grades, yes, as a score. Now make it available, and then this is something very important, that is, you said here the deadline is 13 September 4 p.m. the deadline, but the student can still submit even after this date. If you do not want the student to submit after this date, you can do that by making the link available, not available to the students. So why the students can submit even after this date? Because the link for the submission of assignment is available. So if you don't want the link to available, you can give the deadline. Maybe you can give the same, or you can give one day grace period. Let's say, okay, the maximum is 13, okay, you can give up to 14. This is display until. So after this the link will be automatically disabled for the students cannot see the link. Please note this very important thing. What is the difference between this date and this date? So this is the deadline for submission of the assignment. If some students wants to submit after this, yes, still they can submit it, provided you don't display the last date. If you want to, if you don't want to accept any assignment after this date, you can do it. So here you can choose the date, anything you want. For example, after 13th after 4 o'clock, I do not want to take the assignment at all, that we call it as, and then after that you say enter, you are back. Now let me go back to the edit again. Yes, this is my assignment number 1, and this is the description. I will attach the file here. Then let's say I will attach the file, some file, something like, okay, or anything, standard course menu or something like that. Okay, give the deadline, the marks, and display until. This is up to you if you want to accept all the time, but any student who will submit late, you will know that, you can know that when you start grading the assignment. So once you are done with this, submit. That's it. So you submitted the assignment number 1. Now how to mark it? So the students will just go to the link, and they will same way they will, let's see the student preview. Go to the assignment, assignment 1. So this is the due date, this is the points, and the students, if you want to write something, you can write it text, and then if you want to attach a file, he can attach the file, and then he will submit. That's it. So I will exit the preview from students. Now let's see how to mark the assignment. To mark the assignment, again go to the grade center, go to the full grade center. So this is the grade center. This is the grade center only for this course and this section. So there are so many, there are only 2 students here. Okay, I think there are only 2 students here. Okay, so yes, this is my assignment that I created here. This is the assignment column that I created. So all these assignments are, I don't need. For example, last name is okay, first name is okay, username I want to hide from the instructor view. Student ID, yes I need. Last access, I don't need. Availability, I don't need. Total weighted, hide. And the total, hide from the instructor. So what is the column which is only available now? Is this is your assignment number 1. Okay, so this assignment number 1 is the first assignment for this student. Similarly, if you want to create another assignment, okay, when the student submit the assignment, how to correct it, I will just show you. Correcting the assignment is just like the way how you corrected your lab reports. Open the student assignment, go to the grade center. If the student submitted his assignment, you will see here one yellow with exclamation mark here, and click that. So click this down arrow key, and then you will see here attempt. You will see another column here called attempt. Attempt means the way, I mean when he submitted. Just click that. You will be you can see his assignment. Once you see his assignment, you can mark it, and then you can submit the grade. So the grade will automatically appear here. Okay, so this is about how to create the assignment, how to mark the assignment, how to collect the lab reports, and how to mark the lab reports, and how to enter the marks in the grade center. So this you have to do it for each section. You have to do it for each section. Then you have to consolidate all the components by some other means. So this is about the 2 things that I demonstrated. Please, you need to practice it. If you have any questions, you can see me at any time, no problem, inshallah. Okay, thank you very much.